Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday afternoon. Please excuse my voice. I have a bit of a sore throat situation going on here, but just wanted to drop by for a few minutes and just talk a little bit. Today's topic that we're going to talk about is shame. Yes, Shame. For those of you who do not know me or are new to my channel, my name is Georgia Wolfe-Samuels, and I am a Redefine Her strategist, author, speaker, coach, CPA, restaurateur, and a few other things in the works. Anyhow, today's topic is I want to talk about shame, Shame. And to give you some context of today's discussion, I was having a few years ago a discussion with a coworker of mine. We work in like a teaming environment. And she had found out that I was an author. That's before I wrote Redefining Her, my new novel. Not novel, my memoir, right? Redefining Her, my journey to self-acceptance and love. So that was prior to this book. So she found out that I was an author, and she asked a question in the audit room. She said, how come you never talk about this? This is a part of your life that's interesting. You would like to know this. And my answer that I gave her was complete bullshit, right? My response to her went something like, oh, when I come to work, I try to, focus on work and keep my personal life separate, et cetera, et cetera. That was so far from the truth. What the truth was that I was still operating through the lens of shame. So what is shame? I define shame as sabotaging habits aimed at minimizing your existence. Okay? Yours, mine, etc. And I think we all struggle or wrestle with that. Sabotaging means to destroy, right? And you could be doing it subconsciously or consciously. For example, let's say you have a goal to purchase a home, and one of the requirements to purchase that home is a down payment, right? And so you'll need to, set a miniature goal where you save for that down payment to purchase your home. Now, here's where the sabotaging habit may come in. For example, you may have that sabotaging habit because of a limiting belief. I believe that limiting beliefs fuel sabotaging habits. And so you may have the limiting belief that says, okay, I am not worthy of home ownership. And as a result, what you do is to spend unwisely, not budget, etc. And as a result, you do not save the money that you need to purchase a home. So that's an example of a sabotaging habit that is pretty common. Anyhow, back to shame. So back when I wrote this book, it was titled, I Forgive You, Daddy, I Love You Anyway. Actually, I have a copy here. This is what it looks like. And this was a labor of love, even though it was done in shame. So to give you some context, back then when I wrote this book and the mind frame and the mindset that I was in, I had just exited a very toxic marriage. I was a victim of domestic violence, and that went on for quite some time. And when I left that marriage, I was looking for resources to teach my daughter that her situation was not necessarily unique to her, was not her fault, and just to give her some, help her to understand the dynamics of her family situation, right? Because she was a witness to that domestic violence as well. And so I wanted to minimize the negative impact on her. So I kept looking for resources that she could read because, as a little girl, she loved to read. And so in my search, I kept coming across books like, My Two Daddies, My Two Mommies, or When My Parents Divorced, or Having Two Homes, etc. But nothing that spoke to the dynamics of our situation. And then I remember very vividly the afternoon when I heard the Holy Spirit whisper to me, you can't find it because I need you to write it. And I was so scared. There was a one-way conversation that pursued for quite some time between me and him. And it was like, I'm not doing this. Do you see my finances? Where am I going to get money to do this? Hold up. Do you see where I work? I don't want my coworkers to find this out. Like, just to give y'all some context, y'all, I still work for a Big Four accounting firm right now. By that time, it was another Big Four accounting firm. So here I was in a professional environment. I'm supposed to be smart. I'm supposed to be college educated and know how to make smart decisions. So what is my coworker going to think when they read this book and figure out that I was in a relationship laced with domestic violence? Like, hello, like, I'll come across looking stupid. And so I was very ashamed and did not want that part of me to be revealed in my professional space. Now, I did, my close friends and my family, they knew about it, and I did do some marketing. But the difference right now between how I marketed this book versus how I marketed this book is my mindset. This book, I was operating through the lens of shame. This book, I was owning my story. Even though this book literally reveals a lot more experiences that, are can be debilitating and was for some time, but through reframing my mindset and going through that healing process, I was able to own my story and no longer, operate through the lens of shame like I did with this story and my fear of not publishing it, but publicizing it beyond just my close family and friends. I mean, I even went and gave away like a box of these books to a domestic violence shelter back then. Anyhow, I just wanted to kind of talk about shame and the impact that shame can have on us. The intent of shame is to minimize us. It's to minimize you. It's to minimize me, right? From accomplishing that which we were created to do. As I said in my last video, I believe that my overarching and foundational belief is that we were all created to create progress in the world. We all have potential within us. And for that reason, we were all given, a set of skills and talents and gifts in order to help us pursue that primary purpose, right? And so a lot of times that gets locked up in us as potential, and we're afraid to emancipate and afraid to release it because of the shame that we encounter and we experience just because of our experiences, right? And so I want to encourage you today that despite your story, despite your journey, despite your experiences, please do not let that cripple you from living your life on purpose. Okay? And so my call to action for you today is to take a moment and assess the decisions that you're making or not making, and to determine if you're making them through the lens of shame, or are you making them through the lens of your authentic power that comes with owning your story. Okay? And so I'm encouraging you to own your story. That will help you in releasing that potential that you have in you, releasing that purpose, for you to live that purpose, for you to create that life that you desire, that you were created for. Okay? So that's my message to you today, to try not to allow shame to sabotage your potential and to sabotage your progress and to sabotage your success. If this message resonates with you, please leave a comment below. If you want to get in touch with me, my handles on all social media is at Georgia Wolfe-Samuels, and my website is georgiawolfesamuels.com. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear your comment. I would love to hear how I can serve you. So please let me know, reach out, let me know, and hope you have a great day. If you love this message and you know someone that could benefit from it, please, please, please share. Okay? Thank you guys. Take care.